This video is brought to you by my new book, Mouth of Winter, a direct follow-up to my previous novel, Dullbloods. If you're looking for something new to read or want to see what happens to John Kettle next, then feel free to check it out. Links are in the description.
Bubsy, you must have heard of me. B-list celebrity extraordinaire.
Never heard of you. Alright, see ya. Never, losers. I like her.
Like so many others, I'm aware of the infamy of Bubsy the Bobcat. He was created by Accolade as part of a gold rush of mascot platformers to compete with Mario and Sonic. Despite the cynical reasons for his genesis, genuine love and attention did go into his creation, to try and create something special. Just a shame none of that passion led to a good game being made. Yeah, despite getting his own fanbase and a few sequels, Bubsy never had the same success as Sonic and Mario, with his first attempt at 3D not only going down in history as one of the worst games ever made, it was so bad the publisher had to just make up a fake award to slap on the cover to try to get people to buy it. Then, out of nowhere, Atari of all people bought the Bobcat, and they announced a new entry in the series by Demon Turf developer Fabraz. This got people talking because it genuinely looked good, and of course, it got me curious, since I actually played Bubsy 3D back in the day, and I wanted to know if what they were showing could measure up to something good. So, I pre-ordered it on GOG, waited a week to play it. Now after finishing it, I can confidently say this. Yeah, it's pretty good. First off, Bubsy 4D looks great. Fabraz went for a cel-shaded art style to make the game resemble a cartoon, and they nailed the look, giving this game, the character models in particular, an art direction that will stand the test of time. Picture a version of the Bubsy cartoon pilot that didn't suck and actually had an art style that was unique. That's Bubsy 4D. However, where the art style underwhelms is in the world themselves. Now, I'm not going to say Bubsy has a well-known theme, style, or look like Mario and Sonic do, but there just isn't a real rhyme or reason for these worlds to exist. Other than narratively speaking, they were made out of what the bad guys had on hand. The first world is papercraft, the second is office supplies, and the third is e-waste and computer parts, with the levels feeling like they exist exclusively as levels in a video game, rather than as part of a world with its own internal logic. I know this sounds like I'm splitting hairs, but it works given Bubsy's self-aware nature. But at the same time, when you look at Fabraz's prior work, Demon Turf and the upcoming Demon Tides, they know how to make video game levels that feel like they're a part of a world. So why wasn't this the case with Bubsy? The game also features some strong writing, but it is very light on story. Don't go into this expecting Mario RPG or Sonic Frontiers, but do expect snappy dialogue. The Woolies are back, they abducted some sheep, turned them into cyborgs called Barbots, the Barbots turned against their masters, and then stole all the golden fleeces, forcing Bubsy and his friends to spring into action. Where the entirety of the writing budget went was the dialogue. The characters have distinct personalities that shine as they effectively bounce off of one another. They even pulled Oblivia from the failed Bubsy pilot. She's been reworked into a disinterested love interest, and it's fun to see Bubsy try to woo her, or at least make her get his name right. So if you're a diehard Bubsy fan, you're in for a real treat seeing her in a game for the first time, and the new characters, the bar bosses? They're great too, with Barbie and Baptiste being a real treat with their intros.
Didn't I tell ya specifically to frick off and not steal our golden fleece?
Excuse me? You stole them first.
You stole them first! Where? Time to eat dirt, loser!
Yeah! Oh yeah! That's right! Lovely form, boss!
Sick!
Just a shame they don't get to say or do much beyond their intros and boss fights, and you will wish you could see more of them. Barbie is a precociously sassy brat, while Baptiste is an arrogant source of JoJo posing. Meanwhile, the third bar boss, Bartholomew, his personality just doesn't shine compared to the other two. His thing is being a musclehead, and he just lacks Barbie's brattiness or Baptiste's flair, so he just comes off as flat. The other characters don't get to do much beyond early or mid-level flavor dialogue, and it's fine. Just don't expect them to get involved with any of the set pieces or engage with the player gameplay-wise. But the character that shines the best is Bubsy himself. They kept the self-aware humour of the original games. Bubsy will comment on things like changing skins, what's going on as you play, and will even talk to the player when you access the options menu. He'll even get annoyed if you turn on tank controls, and this never gets annoying. This is because they made a crucial change to his character. They made him grow up. He knows he's washed up. He knows about his reputation, but rather than make that the butt of every joke, the focus is on him trying to reinvent himself. With a new jacket. It also helps that they aged him up into an adult and gave him a new voice. So instead of sounding like a shrill boy with testicles that haven't dropped, he now sounds like a guy. It's worth pointing out they got genuinely good voice actors for the characters, and their performances are top-notch across the board, and gave Bubsy more to say than just,
What could possibly go wrong?
so you won't get tired of him running his mouth, which is a monumental achievement in of itself. The levels are linear but open-ended. You have a path to follow to the end goal, but you're free to take your time, explore, and look for hidden collectibles and character interactions. And to go with this, Bubsy's default arsenal of abilities are fun to play with and experiment. This means the player has multiple ways to finish each level, and this is before you look for shortcuts. And keep in mind, you have other abilities waiting to be unlocked with blueprints, so more options will open up as you play. This makes this game a real treat for speedrunners even before you've unlocked each level's speedrun mode.
Pause menu. Get it? P-A-W? Forget it.
The difficulty curve is also steady. There was almost never a point where it felt like the game was throwing cheap challenges or was afraid to bare some teeth. The keyword there being almost. Toward the very end of the game, there are some platforming sections that can be too unforgiving. You'll be all but guaranteed to fail these sections on your first attempt, unless you've either mastered Bubsy's moveset, or you're like me and get super lucky. These sections aren't too numerous to be a deal breaker, but they stick out enough that you can't help but raise an eyebrow when they do show up. It also needs to be said that this is a short game. Too short even. 15 levels spread across 3 worlds, and if you know what you're doing, or don't know what you're doing, you can finish them in less than 5 minutes apiece. But this is alleviated by the game being very replayable. Even without the speedrunning mode, it's just as much fun as the first time to replay a level, either to beat your best time or to look for collectibles. This is on top of it being a relaxing game to play. There's barely any enemies, only 2 or 3 for both Woolies and Barbots, and none of these are a serious threat. They're mostly there to just wake up lazy players with a hazard or as part of a platforming challenge, which is where the game's real difficulty lies. So it's easy to achieve a sense of zen as you play. I beat the game around 4.5 hours, and I can see myself coming back to play this on the regular, as a go-to game for relaxing after a long hard day at work. Maybe with a beer or two as well. It needs to be brought up that this game also has a fairly impressive selection of skins for Bubsy. The yarn balls you collect in the levels are what you use to buy them, and if you're keen-eyed, then 1 level's worth of yarn is enough to buy one of the more expensive skins. Granted, most of them are just recolors of Bubsy's new jacket and tie, and they don't modify the gameplay, but if you do find his regular getup to be rather bland, they do add a splash of variety, especially the skins that are more than just a change of clothes. There's one that turns Bubsy into a ragdoll, another one that brings back his old shirt, and one that brings back his model from Bubsy 3D. So if you turn on the tank controls, you can play the game as a mechanically true sequel to that game. There's even a skin poking fun at Sonic, where he just wears gloves, shoes, and a censorship mosaic that makes Bubsy more suggestive than the most revealing outfit in Stellar Blade. So if you belong to a certain community, that skin in particular is going to give you some real eye candy. The last thing to talk about is the game soundtrack. It is fantastic. frickin-tastic. It's a great mix of different musical styles, with the main theme and the jazzier tunes being standout bangers. I do a community radio show, and when I played some songs from 4D soundtrack, I got immediate love from my audience. Have a listen for yourself. The soundtrack was composed by the duo Fat Bard, who also did the soundtrack for Fabraz's other games in the Demon Turf series, Rugrats Adventures in Gameland, the Crashlands games, and more. With Bubsy though, they did some Akira Yamaoka working on Silent Hill 2 level shit. My only complaint about it is that it's not readily available. Yeah, you can buy it on Steam with the art book, which is nice, but why can't I buy it on GOG? Or better yet, why isn't it on CD or vinyl? Atari, they're one of the few video game publishers who are still devoted to physical media. Every game they put on Switch 2 is actually on the cartridge instead of a keycard. So it is genuinely baffling that amongst all of their Bubsy merch, they didn't do something with this A freaking plus soundtrack. Bubsy 4D isn't just Bubsy's first definitively good game, and it isn't just proof that Bubsy is now a viable collaboration with Sonic. It is easily one of the best releases in a year that's been packed with fantastic games coming left, right, center, and from inside the house. Whether you're into platformers, curious about Bubsy's reputation, or just want something for your kids to enjoy, you won't be disappointed by the Bobcats' overdue comeback. With a $30 price tag, it is a definitive must play.
How could someone like you beat me?
Bleats me.
I hate you so much. Huh? Yes! Ah!
What a bunch of weirdos.
Alright, that's another review finally done and dusted. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was great putting it together for you. And if you feel like supporting me, please check out the link in the description to check out my books, or hit the like and the subscribe buttons. Either is fine. Now for the next game review, I actually haven't chosen anything yet. I'm kind of drawing a blank. Might do something from my backlog, or something else I plan to review, or maybe finally get around to doing that Sonic fan game showcase I promised before. And I know I keep saying this, but I have been meaning to get back into doing regular movie reviews. I've actually got some notes down for some films I recently watched, like The Backrooms and Scary Movie 6, and I gotta be honest, I'm also interested in checking out Citizen Vigilante by Uwe Boll. This is the second time I've been interested in one of his films for artistic reasons, and that's not a lot, but it is an odd coincidence it's happened at least twice. Anyway, that's everything. Hope you stick around for the next one.